All right, Capricorns, welcome to your November reading. So welcome in. We are into the month of Thanksgiving for us in the US, so it's a great time of just focus on gratitude, harvest, thankfulness, sharing our bounty that we harvested from the summer season. So it is a beautiful month, and we are in fall here in the Northern Hemisphere. You guys in the South are kind of wrapping up the spring here, but we are kind of in this time of reflection, and that is definitely going to be strong in the month of November. So we have a lot of astrological aspects going on November, more than usual. I think it's going to be one of the most active months of 2025. I think there's around 30 aspects happening between the planets. And if you're wondering what aspects really are, to make it simple, aspects are really planets speaking to each other. How they are kind of, again, the angle or degree at which they're kind of interacting with each other creates certain energies and that impact us. So there's a lot. There's 30. This is definitely way more than normal. So that's a big piece in November. So there's going to be a lot of activity, which is interesting because then on the other hand, we have two retrogrades. We have Mercury and Uranus in retrograde, which actually asks us to kind of pause and do some reflection. So at the same time, we might have a little bit of that confliction going on of like really wanting to do stuff and be motivated and move forward. And there's a lot of that energy, but at the same time, it's like, wait, hold on a minute. We need to kind of relook at this or think before we do stuff. Reflect on how we should communicate or respond, or Uranus, like innovation, like let's be innovative about how maybe we need to reassess how we're doing things and do things a little, like the whole saying of work smarter, not harder, which is something very in line for you Capricorns, because you Capricorns do like the energy of like doing, right? Getting things done, action, hard work. But this month is actually going to ask Capricorns to kind of, hey, let's go slower here. Let's be softer. Let's step back and rest and maybe do a little bit more of a life work balance here. I know there's a lot of maybe wanting to succeed or, make more money or, have some growth or like, deepen our commitment in a relationship or like goals and things. There's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot going on in your head. Like there's a lot of things that are like maybe you're multitasking on, but the energy in November is going to actually ask you to step back, stop chasing goals and getting things done. But maybe it's more around here because Mercury will actually station direct in Scorpio in your house of wishes. So it's a time to really, hey, what are my wishes? What do I really want to do? What do I really want to experience? Instead of focusing on a to-do list, it's a big time to like sow the seeds or focus on what your wishes are instead of just, oh my gosh, sorry. Okay. Jupiter's been, he's been very antsy and active today as well, so. But that's also a sign. Jupiter's here. He usually likes to crash the readings, but that's a sign that you're going to have some good luck in November. So it's really about focusing on your wishes, believing in your wishes. So I did want to just call that out for you guys. There's a lot of, with Uranus retrograde as well, there's a lot of energy around spontaneity, things happening unexpectedly. So expect the unexpected. All right, so I'm going to start the reading. If you are interested in a personal reading with me, you can book one below on my website, which is linked in the description. Also, as we're moving into holiday season, take a look at my Etsy shop. And I have great metaphysical jewelry that I actually hand make. I do try and mix it up with some really high quality stones, as well as maybe some more affordable stones. But they are all energy worked or energy activated with Reiki and also the full moon. So definitely take a look. But I'm going to have to move Jupiter here so I can get this reading going. All right, let's start. I'm going to do a little bit of a different spread today to mix it up. So I'm going to start with your current energies here, Capricorn. So we have strategy and reflection. Yes, this is exactly what I just talked about for you. Look, stopping to kind of say, hey, where have I come? Where am I at? What do I keep doing the same and I'm not getting a different result here? So this is about shifting to change your results, I feel. And part of this changing is also, maybe you're too focused on the to-do list. Maybe you're too focused on goals, or too much, you're being too human. You're too focused on the surface level stuff, and you need to focus more on your heart, on your desires, on maybe balancing out your life a little better. So let's see more info here. So we have the Ten of Wands. You had too much obligation, carrying too much responsibility, I feel too. There's a lot of baggage that you're carrying, and I think it's just like you're tired and it's heavy here. Knight of Cups. You need a little bit more love. Little bit more lightness in your life. Like some of you maybe more romance, or just you need more focus on emotions and feelings and filling your cup. The Sun, yes. This is about focusing on the most important things, which is your happiness. And I feel like all these obligations and things are have just interfered with for one, you feeling content in your life, or just your cup feeling empty. So that's current energies. Let's look at what's coming in. So we have the first chakra, Archangel Michael, and expansion. Yes. So this is your root chakra. I feel like you're on the verge of a lot of expansion in your life, but you need to get out of, Jupiter is big, right? It's looking at things from a broad perspective, from a higher perspective. And I think you're too focused on the minute details in your life. A lot of that could be tied to your root chakra, and the root chakra is tied to your sense of safety and security and success. And it's almost like there's too much, maybe there's some blocks here, and you just have this underlying kind of nervous system or belief that you don't feel safe or stable enough. This could be tied to money. It could be tied to you kind of carrying the weight for everybody in your family or yourself. But again, there's something about having to look at a broader perspective, which is really going to help you with this month. Yeah, Three of Swords, Seven of Wands, and the Moon. Yeah, a lot of unconscious stuff, a lot of unconscious feelings from your past, maybe some trauma around beliefs that you that are causing a lot of pain and heartache for you, that I feel like you're kind of not fully conscious of. But I feel like, again, that's where this expanded viewpoint comes into, of looking deeper into the unconscious, going inwards to kind of really understand, where is there maybe stuck things happening unconsciously within myself, like beliefs around money, or me needing to carry all the weight, or feeling like you're obligated to do this. Because Capricorns, the truth is, you're not obligated to anyone but yourself. And if your obligations are causing a detriment to your health, to your life, to your sense of fulfillment, there needs to be adjustments here. And I feel like the Seven of Wands is referring to kind of like needing to kind of stand up more for what your true beliefs are. Because if your unconscious like beliefs playing out unconsciously don't align with your real beliefs, that's going to create dissonance, which you're not going to be able to manifest or create new patterns or new experiences in your life. So there's a disconnect here between your internal world and your kind of conscious mind. So that's kind of what's coming in here. So I feel like there needs to be a shift. So let's hear from your future self, what your future self has to say. Angel of Balance and Higher Consciousness, Sirius, Pleiades, and Arcturus. A lot of cards and messaging around balance in November, Capricorn. So we need to find some balance, because you've been out of balance in some way. You could also be going through a kind of spiritual elevation here as well. You could be feeling this. And a lot of times when we're spiritually leveling up to a new level, we're starting to feel a dissonance with where we've been, right? We're now feeling like this doesn't align with me anymore. This way of living doesn't align with me anymore. Focusing on the to-do list and all the surface level stuff is like really burning me out like it never has before. It's because you're being called to elevate from a spiritual level, and you have a lot of divine support right now that's helping you. So I would potentially could ask your guides or your angels, and also ask Archangel Michael to help you, give you information, guidance, or just help you in any way in your life that you feel like you need some extra help. Knight of Pentacles, King of Cups, and Two of Cups. So there's some love here coming in. So if this has been too, yeah, for some of you, if you're looking for love, I definitely see something coming in. For those of you who are in maybe a committed relationship, it could be that someone's kind of, again, there's addressing the fact that you're carrying too much baggage or carrying too much obligation, responsibilities, and like you need to find balance. So it could be that a partner is stepping up, and maybe you kind of put your foot down with that, and they are going to step up and help. And it's like figuring out, how do we address this together? But definitely there's an aspect here about finding balance within, for yourself, but also in relationships. So that could be something else that you're addressing here. I'm just kind of getting the Knight of Pentacles. I always refer to as like the steady Eddie knight. I mean, he's steady to he's focused on his duties, and he really is diligent and focused on, it's like the day-to-day stuff, or even if it's around like completing or, completing a goal or something like that. But it's like, it's kind of slow progression. It's like a slow, steady state. It's not like, let's do this and let's get at it. Let's, complete this fast or anything. It's definitely slow energy. So there's definitely something about things taking a lot of time as well that's frustrating for you. But let's keep going here. So as far as the last row we're going to pull is for the good stuff, calling it, what's really shifting for you. That's something positive here. So I'm going to pull. So we have storm warning and trust, the Polynesian Voyagers here. So right away, especially when you pull cards or if you're trying to learn, it's kind of like sometimes it's like, what is the first thing that you notice, especially on the cards? And then look at these two cards. They're both stormy waters here. Or like this, the trust card has waters that are pretty, they're kind of tumultuous, right? They're pretty intense waves here. So I do feel like you're definitely navigating something that's a little challenging or difficult. It could have came out of nowhere, whatever this is. It could have caught you off guard. Or the storm warning card can also reference kind of emotional turmoil as well. But I feel like you're really trying to navigate this the best you can. And I feel like you're going to. And the trust factor is just trust that you're going to get through this situation or get through this period. And it, you know, you're going to make it through okay here. And especially with this being in the good stuff, I do feel like you are going, this is all going to work out. It's not going to be as bad as you thought, but obviously when you're in the middle of something that's a little challenging, or you find out something that's challenging, it's going to be a little difficult here. So as far as, let's see here. Okay. So we have the Judgment card, Two of Wands, and Queen of Swords. So definitely talk, you know, I just said that something maybe came out of the blue, but also I feel like this is tied. So there's a situation that came out of the blue that was challenging. It could literally mean some sort of judgment or decision about a situation, and it's going to turn out that it's going to go in your favor. It may not be as bad as you originally thought it was. So I do feel like there's something specific this is referring to. There is some, maybe there's like options, or you're kind of at a crossroads and you do have to make some sort of decision about which path you want to take with this situation. You may have some options here for you, but I do feel like at least what's coming of this is definitely you're going to get some clarity and at least see a path forward and have a plan. The Queen of Swords has a clear vision. She has clarity around a situation. There's no confusion anymore, or so I feel like things are going to clear up for you. But I do feel like you're going to move forward in a better direction, and at least you know the path you're taking, and something is kind of getting resolved. Again, this can go back to baggage or responsibilities or obligations that are just weighing on you. And you're needing a lot of, there's a shift to needing your cup filled. We talk about that. So November is about filling your cup, and that's for yourself, filling your own cup, but also asking. Maybe you need to ask people. Sometimes, you know, we think, oh my God, asking someone else to fill my cup. But if your family or your partner, I mean, that's what they're there for. And maybe you don't have to use the term fill my cup, but when you really assess, like, what is it I need to feel more filled? Where do I feel like just stressed or overworked, or what do I need from a love perspective? Maybe I need just, you know, hey, could you give me a back massage? Or, hey, could you make dinner tonight? Or, hey, could you help with whatever? However that looks for you, this is your time to get clear and to communicate this and ask for it. All right, before we go, I just wanted to clarify a couple things for you guys. So I wanted to clarify the Ten of Wands here. So let's see, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Temperance card. So I definitely feel like there is an opportunity to kind of end a challenging road or period here. And a lot of that is, again, tied to, we see on the Temperance card, there's these it's like this alchemy happening or this balance happening. So maybe also, you know, temperance to me is also kind of refers to the divine or your guides or your angels. And it's like asking for help or support, asking for, hey, help me with this situation, or hey, you know, life has been too heavy, or hey, what has been weighing on you from maybe an emotional standpoint? This could be from your past as well, of like, hey, I really need to work through this and heal. Help me do that. But definitely, I do feel like there is help coming in, even from the physical here. Let's see. Seven of Wands, the Moon, the Hierophant, and Justice. So I think I mentioned this earlier, but there is a very traditional sense to maybe how you approach life or your belief system. And obviously that stems from our childhood, our family, our, you know, our whatever, our culture. And I feel like we need to reinvent, and we need to really look at some of our deep-rooted belief systems that aren't serving us. It could be around money, like a deep belief around money. And maybe consciously you're like, oh, I want more money and, you know, I want more wealth. But what if you look back to your childhood and ask yourself, like, what did you pick up from the environment or your family around money? Like, did you always feel like money was, you know, hard to come by? Were you struggling? Did your parents say things like, you know, we're poor, or we can't afford stuff like that? Like, those things are going to really be programmed in your unconscious. I use money a lot because that's a big one, but it can be around anything. It can be around relationships. It can be around what your beliefs are about yourself and how you show up in the world. Or, you know, hey, I really need to live by this traditional way of my life needs to look a certain way because that's what everyone else said it needs to be. But obviously this is very unconscious, and especially with Justice, these are like karmic programs. I feel like if you look back at like ancestral karma as well, I mean, that really gets passed generation to generation until someone really sees, hey, I can see how this has constantly been an issue in my family. Maybe, you know, if you had a family that's super religious, that's obviously going to be ancestral karma that has really impacted the generations. And usually it, you know, even if you don't want to believe it, it does cause suffering or challenges in life. And, you know, maybe it causes a disconnect with our true selves, because maybe our true selves doesn't believe that, or our true self wants to live a different life, or our true selves doesn't want to be in this marriage anymore. But again, tradition says that, oh, you know, you got married, you have to stay in it, or something like that. But that's what I feel is the moon in this whole row. So the Seven of Wands is about standing up, kind of really standing up for what your new ideas are, what your beliefs are, how you want to live your life, and not allowing anyone to kind of, you know, say otherwise or resist or fight you against that. Or even if people don't agree with it, it doesn't mean that you should kind of, okay, oh, I got to be small again, or I got to continue to show up in the way that people want me to show up. And then lastly, let's see. Let's clarify this Judgment, Two of Wands here. So we have the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so yeah, I do feel like this row is referring to something that comes in, like a message that comes into you. So the Page of Swords pages are about, can be, one of the kind of meaning behind the pages is like messages. And especially with the swords, it's about communication. So this can be about like an email coming through or a call or a message or a letter. But something comes through, I feel like, that gives you some information, judgment. So there's some new information where you have a definite, you know, like this is the way it is, or this is kind of some sort of clarity about a situation. It can also be some messaging that helps you to figure out, maybe you're at kind of a challenging crossroads and you're trying to figure out what direction to go or how to deal with this. And I do feel like something comes in that helps give you some clarity or information that can help you make a better decision here. And it's really going to, you know, help move things forward faster if you feel like something hasn't been moving fast, or if things have been slow to progress. If you're waiting on some sort of judgment or waiting for some sort of decision on behalf of a situation you're dealing with, that can also be what this is referring to. But it can just be general in life. It could be around relationship or work or job, but you're ready to kind of deal with this. Like you're armed with the information you need, or you know what you need to do now. So it's kind of like you're coming at it at the Knight of Swords, kind of with a very strong, motivated energy to like move forward here. But you're ready to make a decision, and I think you'll make it pretty quickly, and you're going to have some clarity here. So this is the positive. So I think whatever message comes in is going to be a good one. All right, Capricorns. Thanks for joining into your November reading. Definitely before you go, quickly hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Lyran Soul Tribe here. I like to say we are a collective of light workers, star seeds, if you know what that is, or just generally, you know, spiritual beings that are here to grow and expand and connect in ways that are deeper and more soul fulfilling. So welcome and thanks for joining, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.